What's with me? Going deep, Chad and JT.
All right, big shout out to our sponsor, MyBookie. MyBookie, thank you so much for sponsoring us. What up? Here's some of the read. Sure, watching football is fun, but it's more entertaining when you have some action on the games. Guys, you've heard me talking about this for weeks, and some of you are still on the sidelines. Whether you're an expert or rookie, you should be betting at MyBookie. If you're the kind of guy that likes to bet a little and win a lot, like playing the numbers on roulette, you can create a big parlay. Pick 3 teams to win, and if you hit all 3, you could turn $100 into $600. Whoa, there's so much to bet on. College basketball and football, NBA, NHL custom props, even esports, e-cigs, you name it. What up? MyBookie is one of the best. Apologies, Stokers. MyBookie is the one bet I know you'll be happy with all year. I recommend these guys because I really trust them. I do. MyBookie has been in business for years. They've got great online reviews, and their mobile site is so easy to use. Just like you go on and you're like, wow. Sign up this week, and MyBookie will give you a 50% deposit bonus to jumpstart your bankroll. It's a great way to bank even more money when you win. Also, make sure to follow at BetMyBookie on Twitter. They personally respond to every mention and DM. Not to mention that they've given away more than $10,000 in free money to their followers this football season. You'll be the first to know as soon as new odds and props are posted. Whoa. Don't miss out on one of the best weeks to bet on sports this year. Log on to MyBookie right now and use promo code DEEP and to get 50% deposit bonus. That's promo code DEEP. You play, you win, you get paid, you get laid. Thank you, MyBookie. What's up, Stokers of Stoke Nation? This is Chad Kroger coming in with episode 44 of the Going Deep with Chad and JT podcast. I'm here with my compadre, Jean Thomas. What up?
What up, dude?
How you living, dog?
Doing well, man. It's good to see you.
You too. Looking good.
Thank you, bro. You look good as well.
The bleached dome is kind of, you're like half and half now.
Yeah, the roots are strong now.
Yeah. You're like an Oreo, except you need the top half.
Right, except I'm nutritious as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's I've become accustomed to the bleached dome, and now I know I'll miss it when it's gone, when I just return to me as me.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot. You know, what's sort of my identity when that happens.
Yeah.
I think mine's going to take a lot longer just because I have longer flow.
Yeah, you've got that long flow.
Because once you go in with that H cut, you're going to be like bleached tips.
Yeah.
Frosted tips.
I'll be all the way into the Mark McGrath phase of my hairstyle.
Yeah. I was wondering about that. Am I going to be like full half and half? Is that going to be weird?
At some point. No, I don't think it'll be weird. You've got the kind of visage that could pull off any top part.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
What does visage mean?
Face.
It's tight.
Oh, and real quick.
Yeah.
Boom clap, Stokers.
What's that from again? What song?
It's a Charlie XCX.
That's right.
Who also wrote the song, I Love It. I turned my car into a murder just the other day. Yeah, she's good at those anthems.
Yeah, that song has a good spot in the Neighbors movie. They're at a rager, and I think Zac Efron's ripping it up at the pool party, and it's just
Efron, dude.
And I'm like, you really just dived into that physique right there.
I love spending time with that guy on screen.
Dude, yeah.
I know he doesn't have like the most range, like no one's going to confuse him with like Philip Seymour Hoffman, but no one's going to confuse Philip Seymour Hoffman with Zac Efron either.
Excellent point.
They both got skills that the other guy doesn't possess, or had skills rather.
Excellent point.
I should have mentioned a living actor.
Yeah, no one's going to confuse him with Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Like, we have Zac Efron as, fuck, why am I forgetting who he played in
the guy in
Darkest
Element?
Hour? No.
Winston Churchill.
He was the guy in Fifth Element? Oh,
yeah.
That's right,
dude. No one's a bigger chameleon. Like, he disappears. You don't even recognize him anymore.
Yeah, Winston Churchill. How did I forget? Yeah.
I don't think you'd see those two. Yeah, they wouldn't be the two guys at the audition together.
Yeah.
Like, they'd be calling his agent like, hey, Gary Oldman's here. You sure you sent me in for the right part? They'd both make each other insecure, too. Like, Gary would be like, Zac Efron's here. I don't think I got the abs. And then,
he's so fucking ripped.
Yeah, and then Zac Efron would be like, Gary Oldman's here. I don't think I have the weirdness.
Yeah. Yeah, so Zach, it's between you and Gary Oldman, your big rival. He sees Zach at the audition. Gary, Zach.
What else has been going on, dude? How was your birthday?
It was good. Caroline organized a very nice day for me. It was super nice. We got McDonald's for breakfast, which is fire. And then we saw mid-90s, related a little too hard to that movie. But I dug it.
Can you relate too hard?
I don't know, dude, but that's what I was going through my dome when I was watching it. I'm like, I'm relating too hard. Jonah Hill, you freaking got me.
Yeah, don't diagram my life so exactly.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is how he starts smoking weed. That looks familiar.
Right.
Except my first sexual encounter involves a girl who's older than me.
Yeah, we should all be so lucky as that kid in the movie.
But I was tiny like that kid. And I was into action sports. And I was like, I want to be one of those guys.
That's, I'm actually relating to it more too, because I was the smallest kid in my class, and I BMX'd and dirt biked and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was always bad at it.
Yeah.
I knew I was never going to be like one of the dudes.
But you wanted to rock the gear. And
I loved it. I just thought it was a cool world.
yeah, I mean, X Games made it so cool.
For sure.
I'd watch X Games, I'd be like, this is everything.
Yeah.
This is everything. Taco Bell, Mountain Dew helmets, gnarly dudes.
And the evolution of the tricks.
Yes.
Like when you'd be watching the X Games and like Carey Hart hucked that first backflip, like that was really like a transcendent moment. That was like Neil Armstrong on the moon.
I was a big Brian Deegan guy.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, when he did some kind of big corkscrew, but I think it was like a backflip, some like super inverted backflip or something. And then he does a burnout on top of the ramp. I was like, that's cool.
He was, I think, the first guy. He dominated like the next phase after Carey Hart, because Carey Hart couldn't get the landing straight.
Yeah.
And then Deegan, and I'm sorry to the real connoisseurs out there, you'll correct me, but Deegan was able to like throw like Superman grabs onto the backflip. Like he was the first guy to add like moves to the backflip.
Yeah.
And then they started doing it in the winter games.
Yeah, and then Pastrana came in with that double. I'd be like, that was cool, man. But you're such a fucking dweeb.
Right. But he did that thing where he hung around for so long that at a certain point you're like, all right, fuck it, I'll respect you.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of the ultimate respect, because you have to endure being a dweeb.
Yeah, they're like, that double backflip, that was amazing. I go, heck yeah, for sure.
Yeah, his
just like,
attitude was so
dude.
lame.
Yeah, you're like, I want to root for you, but fuck.
Well, he had that corporate thing too, where he felt like he was like, came out of a, like he didn't come from like the real world, like he was born out of a box or something like that. And that's so antithetical to what you want from your extreme sports athletes.
Yeah, from your dirt bike guys.
You want them to be like fucking raw and like just like they were like the basest and sublime.
Well, just the name, Travis Pastrana. It's already in the name. Brian Deegan.
Ezra Lusk.
Oh, yeah.
He had a good name.
Who else did I love to watch? Sheckler was fun to watch. Although that was around the time when his MTV show came around.
Yeah, I mean, I went to junior high with him, so
Yeah.
I watched him kind of mutate through all these different phases.
Yeah.
I did hear that we would drink my parents' Kettle One at my house parties, and I heard that Sheckler switched to Kettle One after coming to one of our parties.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Is that it? Chris Parr, you know what's up.
Yeah, I was fucking pumped when I heard that.
Hell yeah.
What dude, I was in Miami. I just got back from Miami.
Right, yeah. How was Miami?
Dude, best city in the world.
I want to go so bad.
We're going in January. Dude, it's the best city in the world.
Yes.
Everyone's hot. Everyone is so transparent about how shallow they are.
Yes.
It's beautiful. Like they're like, dude, I just want to drive like a Lambo and have the hottest chick imaginable in this seat next to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think if I lived there, it might mess with me a little bit. But just visiting, it's like such an energy shot. You're just like, yes, dude. And then like the weather's perfect this time of year, and like the water's warm, and the clubs. Then I'm not a huge nightclub guy, but you can't walk into one of those places and just not marvel at what they've done.
Dude,
like, people just going ape shit. Dudes just screaming the lyrics to rap songs with their boys. Girls just dancing up a storm. You're like, this is everything I want in a nightclub.
And dude, yeah, and when Will Smith first told me about it in his song, I saw the music video. I'm like, there's no way that place really exists. It's that's just a rap music video.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing photos of it, and then I keep seeing more and more glimpses of it, and I'm like, I think it really is the way he portrayed it in that freaking song. And I'm like, damn, Will.
I think Will was ahead of the curve. He
Yeah.
knew. When I was at the nightclub, I saw a famous athlete in there.
Who?
I can't say because he did some. I would make him look bad by commenting. but he was there, and he was sitting with 2 chicks at his table, and he had a big gold chain on, and he took half the chain and put it on one girl, and took the other half of the chain and put it on another girl, and he smoked a cigarette. He's a pro athlete in season. I was like, what are you doing, dude? I was like, you're not gonna be able to run, dude.
Yeah.
Chiefing cigarettes.
You got a game tomorrow, whatever.
Yeah, he looked happy though, and I was so pumped for him. When I finally saw him kiss one of the girls, I was just like, yeah. I was like on the dance floor, just like pumping my hands.
Does he play in Miami?
No.
Oh, so he's just there?
He was just there.
Cool.
Yeah, it was the weekend.
Cool.
Yeah, and I tried to take photos with him in the background, not to post or anything, because I don't want to out the dude, but just for like my personal, historical records.
Yeah.
And the bouncers would slide in the way every time you tried to take a picture. Like they had their head on a swivel, and anytime someone pulled a camera, they knew they were trying to get him in the background. They'd slide over and block you.
Nice.
And then the other thing I discovered in Miami is that and this is something I've always known about, but have you ever noticed vacation morality is much different than at-home morality?
Oh, for sure.
Like when you're at home and you have the structures of your day-to-day life and you have the visibility of your friends and family, it really makes you behave in a more standard way. But when you get on vacation after a day or two, you're like, dude, I might be okay with killing somebody.
Yeah.
I don't think there's it's like a Lord of the Flies thing, except you're doing it at a place where there's parties instead of wild animals
all day.
Yeah, and you're just like, dude, I'm down for basically anything at this point.
Yeah.
You got to be careful on vacation.
Dude, I've experienced that in Cabo many a time.
Yeah.
First day in, you're like, all right, I'm gonna party, have fun. And
Go
the next
easy.
day in, you're living at the pharmacy.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, what more do you guys have? More Viagra? Sweet. So there's totally that thing. You just kind of lose yourself, I think.
Oh yeah.
The schedule's off. You're like, I don't know what time it is. I don't know what day it is. I don't even know what I ate today. I don't know what's going on.
I'm sleeping till 4 p.m. I'm waking up. I'm like, I just lost the day. I guess I'm just getting ready to go out tonight.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit sick. There's a tickle in my throat. I'm like, I can't let that get in the way of me. I can't miss out on the opportunity to experience Miami tonight.
Yeah.
You feel like you're doing a disservice to the city, to the trip, to yourself if you don't party and maximize every evening.
Yeah.
And it's not real, but it feels like 1,000 people in the club are pushing you towards it.
Yeah.
And you're like, I got to do it. I got to do it.
I wonder what that would do for you, because the worst thing is the flight back.
Yeah.
For me, because the flight back, you're just in a haze. You're like, what did I just do? But I wonder if there's a way that someone could figure out a way to nix that from your memory.
Right.
Or just take away that whole experience of the flight back. I wonder what that would do for humanity.
One of my buddies I went with needed it because he had his head buried on the what's the thing that comes out of the seat when you're on a
Tray
plane?
table?
He had his head buried on the tray table the entire flight home, just hands over his face. I mean, one of our flights got canceled, so we were on an airplane for 10 hours that day. All 10 hours, his head were buried into his hands. Just heavy reflection.
The worst.
Yeah.
I've been working on that because I'm super susceptible to that. Maybe
The next day blues.
Maybe I just think I am, but I'm the same as everyone else.
No, I think you are. Yeah.
But I get that super hard. I'm super sensitive to that. And I'm like, where'd the stoke go? And they're like, it went down with that bottle of Kettle One.
Right.
Like, fuck.
Is that just life's balance that for every up there has to be an equal and opposite down?
Yeah, I don't know, because I'm such a happy dude. That's why it throws me off. I'll be like, why am I doing this?
But you do a lot to protect your stoke, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's why whenever I'm recovering, I'm just like, what am I doing?
Right. It can almost make you wonder.
I get so reflective because it's such a shock to my system mentally that I'm just like, yeah. So
you got to get around your dogs.
What?
You got to get around your dogs when you feel that coming on. Because he had us, we were like, dude, don't worry about it. We're like, are you kidding me? That was hilarious. He was worried about these incidents or individual experiences, and we were like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we respect you more for that.
Yeah.
And when I lived in New York and I didn't have as many friends, I started I was living by myself, and I'd wake up and I'd get super depressed after a hangover.
Yeah.
And so after that, I made myself spend the night at friends' places when I got hammered.
Yeah.
Because I knew if I woke up with people, it would prevent the drop.
Yeah. Yeah, that helps me a little bit. A lot of times I just call my mom though. She helps a lot.
Nothing better than that.
I gotta call my mom.
What does she say?
We just talk about whatever. She's just comforting, just like her voice. You know, she doesn't say anything in particular that helps me out, but just like the presence. Sometimes, you know what's funny? It was like when I would get super hungover, I'd watch like The Office, and I'd just be like, man, I really want the stability of that office job. Like that's how fucked up my mind would get. I'd be like craving the jobs that they have because it's like stable and they're like not
right
in a depressive spin.
Yeah, the ups aren't as high, but the downs aren't as low.
Yeah.
Well, do you also feel like you just like that cast of characters so much, so you're like, oh, if I was spending time with them, I'd probably be stoked? No, it was the job.
It was the job.
You just wanted to sell paper.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, it's true too. Like what you said about your mom, like it's not even what she says. Cause like when I was staying with my dad out there, he's got an apartment in Stokers. My dad is looking good. Came out of the Whipple procedure where they take out a quarter of your stomach or a third. It's a 6-month recovery. He's 1 month in and he looks strong and vital, dude. It's a welcome sign. And he's just a fucking trooper and I'm happy to see him up and swinging so well. But when one night I came home and I was like getting super anxious before bed. Mm-hmm. Like I had just taken my meds and I was like 4 straight days of drinking and like smoking weed and I was like, and I was like, is something wrong? Like something, my system kept sending signals saying something's wrong, something's off. And then I just walked into my dad's room and just stood near him while he was sleeping. And my whole body calmed down. Yeah. And I was like, dude, I'd like to sleep in that bed with him because I'd feel safest there. Yeah. You know what I mean? For sure. Got to return to mom and dad when shit gets sideways.
Nothing better than a call to the rents.
Yeah.
It's the best. Oh, and do you want to expand more on Miami?
Yeah. It was super cool being out there. I got to see all my Colombian family. Dude, my Colombian family will make you feel like you're not even alive. Like the presence they have when you see them. Like my cousin Juanita is so fucking alive and she's so funny. Like we were on a boat together, a speedboat, and I was like, Juanita, do you want to go smoke a joint at the front of the boat? She goes, fuck yes, I love you. And then we go to the front of the boat and I'm like, so did you have any friends when you moved to Miami? She's like, no, my friend Carolina called me from San Francisco. She said, let's move to Miami. I called my dad who was in jail at the time and I said, Dad, give me some money to move. He goes, I'll give you $1,000. I said, $1,000? I know you have more. Fuck you, I hate you, asshole. And then she goes, that's fine, I love him. And then they move on. And like, she brought her friends to the club. And like, me and my boys were such nerds around them. Like, we were like, oh, hey, hi. And they came up and like kissed our cheeks the way Latin people do. And they're, and then we made like, we weren't ready for the second cheek. We're like, oh, and like awkwardly kiss the other cheek. I was like, man, I got to get cooler. And then they would just they'd like hug you and they'd be like, how are you? It's so good to see you. I'm very excited to be here. And I'd be like, yeah, me too. Like I couldn't match them. I was like, man, I need to be more like assertive, like Latin man. Because my cousin Alejandro's like that. Like he'll just go up to a girl and be like, hey, you're hot. What's up? You want to go dance? And I'm like, oh, that's a little bit too much. But it works in Miami. And so it was a fun vision of like how you can be different, you know?
Passion, man.
They're passionate. Colombian people are passionate, dude.
I'm always trying to like up my passion levels. You know, I don't know how you do that, but just like trying to like feel more.
Yeah, I think it's like for them, I think what they're so good at is like they just don't judge any kind of pleasure. Like if it makes you feel good, then do it and do it without worrying about who's looking at you. You know what I mean? And I mean, there's downsides to it too. I mean, like, you know, they're hyper volatile people and they're not the most consistent sometimes, but I mean, they're always consistent in terms of like loving and fighting and like fighting for you and like, and caring and stuff like that. Like you really feel it. And I could see why my dad, like him and my mom met in Miami. I could see how why he found that culture so enticing. Yeah. And why he wanted to be a part of it. Yeah. Ran into some fans there. That was cool. Nice. Brought a couple of them up to the table that we had at the club and just got hammered with them. And I was like, this is fucking cool. Nice. Yeah. So these bros from Clemson, they were good dudes. We were leaving the club and we had an Uber driver and I wanted to go to this other club. Dude, in Miami, like some clubs don't open until like 2 a.m. Yeah. Like it doesn't start going and it's like very European. Like some places are like, oh, it doesn't get popular until 4 a.m. You're like, what the hell? How's that even possible? Yeah. But so this Club 11 is like one of the best late night spots and there's strippers there, but it's not really a strip club. It's just a club where there are strippers. And like there's a good mix of guys and girls there. It's not like most strip clubs where it's just dudes. So I wanted to go there. But then our Uber driver was like super weird, super outgoing. And he was like, nah, bro, you guys want to go to the Booby Trap. It's a strip club on the river. And I was like, I'm not really feeling that. But my buddies were like, come on, dude, he knows the place. Like, let's listen to him. And I was like, because I'm a sex addict, I don't really want to go to a strip club either because like that seems like, not great. But my sponsor was also like, hey, dude, if you're going to go to a strip club, just enjoy it, all right? I don't want to hear about how you went to a strip club and didn't enjoy it. And I was like, dude, you're a badass sponsor. Oh, and the driver on the way there first was like, hey, bro, like you guys got to go to the booby trap. He's like, it's a little dangerous. And I was like, it's dangerous. He's like, yeah, but don't worry about it. I got a heater. Like a gun?
Yeah.
And I was like, why are you telling us within 5 minutes you have a gun? Like, how reckless are you?
Yeah.
And then he's like, it's all good though, dudes. I'm gonna watch out for you guys. I'm gonna go in there with you. I'm like, do we need you to watch out for us? He's like, nah, but it helps. And then when we get there, we had to pay him. None of the ATMs work. So he's like, oh, we got to go to a gas station down the river to get the money. And I was like, this is one of those moments where like everyone in your life would be like, you have to get away from this person now.
Yeah.
But we're just too far in. And I can't say no to this guy, so yeah, let's go to the ATM.
The story's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and then we got to the ATM. Everything was all good. We went back to the strip club. Everything was all good. He got us home safely. He called me the next day to like keep working with us or whatever, and I was like, nah, later, dude. But then we went to a bar, the Wood in Wynwood. Wynwood's like a fun part of town, and the dance floor was just bumping. And I was just dancing by myself, and this group of African American people were dancing. And they were really ripping it up. And then I was dancing. And then they pointed to me and they told me to come into the circle. And I bowed a little bit. And then I went in there and just murdered. But I was very honored.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did in college, we would get strippers from time to time. Or one time, our buddy ordered a stripper. And the bouncer came with 2 things in hand. A stereo and a machete.
No.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
And he's like, this is for the music. This is if you guys act up. And I was like 18. I was like, for sure, dude.
Yeah.
She was like dancing, and she's giving my buddy Tommy a lap dance. And she's like, she would do like flips and stuff, like flips onto him, flips onto his lap. And she did one flip.
She's a pro.
Yeah, she did one like sort of like backflip onto him. The chair collapsed. And Tommy's on the ground, like flat on the ground, arms and legs sprawled out. And she lands sitting on his face. And he's just like, oh. And she's like, all like disheveled, like, what happened? And they stood there for like 15 seconds.
Dude, I had a similar experience on Wednesday.
Oh, you did?
Before I left town, this girl I'd been kind of seeing, who I thought she was more into me than I was into her. So I was like, hey, I don't think we should like hook up because like I don't want to lead you on. And then she called me one night. She's like, can you come over? Like, I lost my job. And I'm like very like tractor beam to like assuaging people's sadness. I was like, yeah, I'll come over. And I was like, but hey, if I come over, we're probably going to hook up. She's like, no, I'm not in the mood. Like, we're not going to hook up. But then like right when I walked in the door, we started making out. And then I was like, oh, like, yeah, we're hooking up. And then I was like, well, you came over, so you knew this was going to happen. You're going to hook up with her. But then my dick wasn't really working that great. And then when I did get hard, I was like too close to coming already. So it was like pretty unsatisfactory for her. Like I'd start going and then I'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm like too close to coming. So we had to like stop and start like 40 times. And then she was fine, like, just come. And I was like, no, I'm not going to come because like this hasn't been fun for you. And then she was like, just come. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, hey, can I go down on you? And so I started going down on her and she was like really gyrating on my face. And then I got underneath her and she was sitting on my face. And dude, my mouth got stuck open. And she was putting so much pressure on it, it started to hurt my jaw. And I was like, oh, and my hands are out to the side of the bed. And I was like squeezing the covers and I was like, writhing underneath her. And she was just like drilling down onto my face. Yeah. And at a certain point I was like, dude, you're going to go unconscious. Like you're going to get knocked out from like chin pressure. Yeah. So I finally like tapped down on her leg. I was like, I'm sorry. Like I feel like such a pussy saying this, but we have to stop. I was like, you're going to knock me out. Yeah. And then she was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. And then... And then the next day I was like, hey, how you doing? You feeling okay? Like about the job thing? And then da-da-da-da. And she didn't respond. And I was like, oh, man, if all I have to do to get these girls not to like me too much is have bad sex with them, I should be all right.
Had she not responded?
No, she actually got back to me this week, actually. But for a while there, she was disenchanted. She literally told me after the sex, she was like, I was like, yeah, sorry, that wasn't great. She's like, I know, I should have invited another guy over. And I was like,
she said that?
Yeah, she was kind of kidding, but I was like, I appreciate your candor. Yeah. I was like, I want you to keep it real with me.
That's cool.
Yeah, she was nice.
Oh, and then I wanted to go back to my birthday. So we saw mid-90s. Then we went to Malibu, and had a nice picnic, wine and cheese and meat. Dank. Yeah. Nice a Cabernet Sauvignon. Then we went to Moon Shadows, ate on the water, favorite thing to do. Dude, it felt like a cruise. Have you been to that restaurant?
No.
It feels like a cruise. We were sitting at the table, and our waiter, he was like this dude. He's like, yeah, you know, they just give me this patio because I like to dance. I'm a dancer. And he's like, how old are you turn? Man, I'm 45. You can't see it though. Because I'm always dancing. And he's like, yeah. And they're like, they're like, Antonio, just take the patio. And I just dance. And then I get so many young chicks that are just like, Antonio, let me go out with you one time. And he's like, I can't. My son's 23. I can't do it. You know, it's just, we're like, damn, dude, like, where are the appetizers? So, and then we did an escape room. Have you ever done one of those?
No, but I heard they're awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. Well, we got in there, and yeah, she organized it all. It was amazing. And we got to the escape room, and we're like, all right, we're ready to go. We're ready to escape. And the guy's like, just you two? And we're like, yeah. He's like, usually this is done with like 12 people. And we're like, well, will we be able to get out? And he's like, no, but go for it. And so we did it. It was super fun. A lot of hidden clues and shit. There's this one detective in there. It was like, he's like, we're going back to the 1940s. And we go, and there's this guy sitting at a desk, and like from time to time he'd be like, you know, the music's kind of weird. You can change the channel if you want. And then we change it. It'd be like Morse code. He'd be like, oh, thank you for that tip, dude. But the guy said we got farther than most people do.
I'm sure.
Which I was like, we were doing it, and we were just looking at each other. We're like, man, we are fucking this mission up. But it's super fun. I want to do one again.
Yeah, we got to do it together.
Yeah, it's
Try and
fun.
bust out.
Try and bust out.
Is
yeah.
it like paintballing where you like bond with the person when you're doing it?
Yeah, for sure. But if you do it with like more people, it's like I imagine you have each person do like a task.
Right. You distribute the tasks around.
Yeah, because there's so many. They're like, here's what you have to identify the suspects. You have to like find this, and then you have to like find that. And we thought like because they're like trying to like find out who the burglar is. We thought if you didn't pass, he was gonna come through like the trap door and like scare us, which I was hoping for, but didn't happen. So escape room people, if you're listening, I would really like that feature. So if you could add that in there, please do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, dude, what about these wildfires, dude? LA is ablaze.
I know, crazy. Joe Rogan evacuated.
I know.
Evacuated.
That's when I knew it was serious, because if Joe leaves, if he doesn't stand and fight, you know it's bad.
I could see him standing in front of his place with a hose, just like, bring it on. A hose and a kettlebell.
Yeah, I see him waving two kettlebells and creating like a wind force that pushes the fires back.
Yeah.
But yeah, my thoughts and prayers go out to all the people who had to evacuate. That's scary stuff, man.
Dude, we saw a helicopter drop in water. That was cool.
So cool.
Yeah. Did they put chemicals in that water?
I think so.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it would work.
Yeah, because when we were watching that, I was like, that doesn't look like a lot of water.
It doesn't look effective at all.
It looks like a mist.
Yeah, it looks like it could put out a campfire.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's more effective than that.
Yeah.
It's tough to fight fire, I imagine.
Yeah.
And thank you to all the first responders and firefighters who are fighting those fights. You guys are legends.
Yeah, major props.
Dude, so election day. We fortunately sent in our ballots because we had the day wrong.
Yeah, dude.
But we sent them in before that, so we were able to get our votes counted.
Yeah, let me just say, government, if you're going to pick an election day, pick one where 6 and 9 aren't so interchangeable. Because I totally thought it was the 9th.
They do look the same.
Yeah.
You never know if it's a 6 iron or a 9 iron until you see the slant of the club.
And I'm so into 69 that I was just like...
You are the most into it.
Yeah.
Dude, do you know how I voted?
69ing?
No, so I already had my ballot filled out when I saw you. I was on an airplane. I sat next to a woman from like Long Beach. We just started talking. She knew everything about politics. And I was like, yo, I have my ballot on me. Will you walk through it with me? And she was like, absolutely.
Nice.
And we started going, and then like she'd be like, this judge, you can't reelect him. No, he's in the back pocket of Big Pharma. He voted against gay marriage. No, you can't support him. You're gonna have to vote no there.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. And then I'd ask her follow-up questions. I was like, look, I want some balance. I want to see both sides of things. So which ones can I like differentiate from you on? And she was like, this one's okay. Yeah, no, okay, but there, no, you can't vote for him. No way. No way. We need new blood there. You have to change it. And she was like on every citizens committee. She knew about like every development. She knew like every politician personally. And I was like, dude, F it. Like, I know this isn't like the most mature way to go about it, but I trust this lady and I'm just going to roll with it.
Yeah.
And she walked me through it.
It's interesting when you, because a lot of things they'll make them out to be like, this is such like morally, you have to vote for this or what. But then you talk to people, experts in like the field or whatever, and they'll be like, Yeah, all those ads are just paid by this one guy. Like, it's totally money fueled.
Right, exactly. And some of the things look good, but then like when you get into the fine print, she was the thing I liked about her, and one of the reasons I trusted her was she was like a fiend for the details.
Yeah.
She was like a detail person.
Yeah.
And, you know, I try to stay a little bit informed on what's going on and try to read a lot. So I felt like I asked her tough questions and she was able to answer them believably.
Well, I think the media is so good at painting things as black and white.
Yeah.
Like, that's evil. That's good.
Yeah.
But then if you look more into stuff, you know, you just gotta look, dig deeper.
We met one of our heroes, Jocko Willink.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, sorry.
One of our heroes, Willink.
For those of you who don't know, Jocko Willink is a...
Do you say Willink again?
Again, what is it?
Jocko Willink.
Jocko Willink is a...
our heroes, Travis Wilcombe.
Yeah.
You mean Jocko?
Jocko, I'll just call him Jocko, is a famous Marine. He served bravely in the U.S. Armed Forces, and then he...
he's a SEAL.
He's a SEAL, and now he's become a motivational speaker and writer.
He's a leadership expert. Talks about owning, take ownership of everything you do.
He's a badass dude. Yeah, I've only heard like, I'm not as familiar as Chad, but I'll hear excerpts where he's like, and then on the day of April 13th, 1998, Master Sergeant Rudolph Ramirez jumped on top of a live grenade, eating up to 48,000 pounds of explosion into his abdomen to protect the lives of and then I'll name all 7 soldiers.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. These are good stories.
This noble, courageous man went into warfare. Don't get it twisted. War is hell. It's hell. We went in the Battle of Ramadi. It's a tough battle. I love him, dude. I love. He's good for those hangover days when you're just like, you know, because he always talks about, you know, the ups and downs of life.
Right.
And his whole thing is like, it's Monday morning. Felt like I didn't want to work out. Felt like I didn't want to get out of bed, and I considered it. No, I didn't actually consider it. I powered through, and I went and lifted. Now I feel good. Now I'm gonna go eat eggs and bacon and get fueled up. I'm not gonna go reach for that donut like an idiot. So he's good for like if you're feeling down or like if you're in those like tough times of life of just powering through and just fighting through that, you know, not being weak and just, you know, because it all comes down to the decision. I think, you know, if you're feeling down, depressed, you're like, I don't want to do this thing. You know, it's like you're feeling down. You don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to go outside, even though those things will make you feel better. You just need to make the decision. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let those things weigh me down.
It's a hard thing to do too, but like when you can, and you know, mine are such small scale stuff. It's just like taking the cold shower that I don't want to take or going to the gym. But you feel so bad, especially if you're hungover or something. Yeah. Or, you know, you're swamped with work or you're having troubles that are greater than that, like financial or family or whatever. You know, that stuff can be a monster.
Yeah.
But if you can like just be like, look, I know that doing this is going to make those things easier to handle. Yeah. And it's going to put me in a better mindset to not react to those things as much. Then, I mean, you got to do it. But it's hard. And those guys like Jocko are so instrumental because all you need is that little burst to get you through it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's great for that. And when we met him, you feel it from him instantly. Like his posture was so just upright and perfect. Yeah. And he only said as much as he needed to when we were talking to him. And I told him, I was like, dude, it's tough. Like, I was like less bro-y talking to him because I felt like I had to be like more official. And he just, you could tell if you spent a lot of time with him, he'd bring out the best in you.
Dude, I the whole time I was just kind of starstruck, but I was just looking at him. I was just like, what if you were my dad? Yeah. You know, he just wake up and he's like, you're going to get out of bed.
We're going to try and get him on the podcast. So Stokers, if you follow both of us, hit him up and tell him to come. Yeah. Because he hasn't gotten back to me on my email yet.
Yeah. Should follow. Dude, because we were like explaining the coral stuff to him. You know, we're like, yeah, we bleached our domes to like for the coral. And you just look at him like, but I felt like he makes that face with everyone.
Yeah, that's his move. Yeah.
So you're just like, I can't tell whether you respect it or you think what you do think.
Yeah, and I asked him about David Goggins is the other famous
SEAL.
The other famous SEAL who does a lot of motivational stuff and is really motivating in his own right. And Chad and I have suspected that maybe they're
beefing.
Maybe they're beefing because they're both, competing for a finite amount of fans of inspiration.
I've heard this, and I know we have some listeners, I think, who are in the military. Maybe you guys can weigh in on this, but I've heard that the Navy SEALs and a lot of other, Marines or whatever, they don't like people to go out to the public world and divulge a lot of info about their
ways,
careers.
Their practices.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of like, it's an omerta where the most important one.
Yeah, so I'd be interested to hear where other Navy SEALs stand on them.
Yeah, I asked him though. I was like, so what do you think about David Goggins? And then he was like, yeah, I know him. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, Jocko, give me the good stuff.
Yeah.
You want to break his neck?
He had a good appearance on the Tim Ferriss podcast. He just guest hosted because Tim Ferriss had something to do, so he just did the whole podcast himself.
Right.
And he talked about his morning workout, his routines, and it was good. I just like his voice is good.
Oh, he's a great performer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which there's probably a Marine out there who's a better Marine. I'm not saying that with any sort of knowledge. I'm just saying that it'd be crazy if he was the best performer and the best Marine. You know what I mean? Because they're hard skill sets to master. But I mean, obviously he's a Navy SEAL, so he's top 1% of humans. Hey, what's up, man?
Oh,
no worries.
Thank you so much.
What is this?
It's a little hard cider for you.
Oh,
Whoa, is there booze in this?
There is.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
First time we've done some booze on the pod. Let's get it.
Thank you so much.
For you.
Let's drink this shit.
All right.
The owner of All Things Comedy just came in and gave us some hard cider. So we'll be in tears in about 5 minutes. All right, Chad, who is your babe of the week?
My baby of the week is Ruth Gates. Have you heard of her?
No.
She's a coral scientist who passed away recently. She was 56. I think she died from brain cancer. So major RIP. But I was looking at her obituary, and she's a renowned coral activist, coral conservationist, best known for advocating for super coral. That's coral that can say what up to pollution and F you to pollution and acidity and whatever the ocean's trying to do. He's like, nah, I'm resistant to that. And I'm super down with that. I'm super down with super coral. I hope the whole earth ends up being super coral. She said, coral seems to be the most complicated organism on the planet. So if I can understand them, I can understand everything else. And I think that says so much about coral. You look at it and you're like, cool rocks. Those are colorful. But then you go underneath, you're like, nah, dude, those are polyps. They just keep building on each other, and they're building the most complicated structures in the world. And it just kind of gives me a boner.
Nice.
She witnessed the death of nearly half of all reefs due to pollution. I'm sure if she saw our movement, she would have bleached her dome as well. Maybe she saw it, because I believe she was alive when we first bleached our domes. So she was born in England too, and she's really inspired by Jacques Cousteau.
Of course, dude.
Jacques Cousteau.
I love that too. Someone from England, not a reef dense area, right? Mm-hmm. I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. But then she adopted it as her cause.
I think she lived in Hawaii.
I think that's a good move. No disrespect to England.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What are you gonna eat? Crumpets?
The food is renowned to being garbage.
I've never been, but I'm like, what do you eat? Mayo and crumpets?
They put beans on the breakfast, and they're not baked beans.
Fuck,
yeah,
dude?
It doesn't seem right.
Nice, England. And they tried to stomp on America. It's like, nah, Mel Gibson's gonna come in and freaking stab you with a bayonet.
Yeah.
So I remember when they killed
and he fucked them up in Braveheart too.
Oh, dude, do you think Mel Gibson? They're like his agent's like, Mel, we got a movie for you. Does it include fucking up England? Yes.
I think people are like, man, Mel Gibson hates the Jews. I'm like, I think he really hates the British even more.
Yeah. And What Women Want, I didn't see him hook up with any British chicks.
No. Marissa Tomei, though.
So, yeah, Ruth, thank you so much for all you did for the coral. I will keep my dome bleached for you. And your major RIP. Who's your babe?
My baby of the week is the Range Rover Defender.
Oh.
It's a very cool truck. It got some pop culture love when two heartthrobs drove it around in their respective movies. First, Freddie Prinze Jr. and She's All That. He rocks a yellow one, and that was when I first laid eyes on it. And I was like, that is a cool car. It looks like a Jeep, but it has a little bit more of the Range Rover body to it. And the Range Rover Defender is the ultimate, like, beast in the sheets, gentleman in the streets. And then John Tucker also drove it in the movie John Tucker Must Die.
Nice.
Jesse Metcalf. He had a red one. And it's just a good looking whip that looks badass. You're a babe, dude.
Dude, hell yeah. Super on board with that.
Chad, who is your legend of the week?
My legend of the week is John Taffer. You may know him from Bar Rescue. I listened to him on a podcast. The guy is a fucking beast. Charisma out the ass, you know? He's a hard dude. Speaking of masculinity, I think this guy embodies it because he's like, I have a mission, I'm going to get it done, and I don't care if I have to yell in your fucking face. I don't care if you don't like me.
He does tell people hard truths.
Hard truths. That's his philosophy in the podcast. He's like, you know what? You want to know why I yell? Because no one else is yelling. Dude, I was thinking like when they're like filming Bar Rescue and they're like, a little more yelling, John. And he's just sitting there. He's like, all right. You want to know why I yell? So, dude, I should pull up that clip. It's hilarious. And also the dude's hilarious too. But I love the way he's talking. Like so his philosophy is like, he's like, you know, some of these people, they're so lost. They're so lost in their own ego, their own excuses. So I get in there and I yell at them and I tell them hard truths. I say, this is what's wrong with that. That should be yellow. Those fries should be brown. This should be da, ba, da, ba, da, da. And they start to break. And once they break, I get in there. And so I thought it was so cool. So on the podcast, he has a book, No Excuses: Guide to Success by John Taffer. And so he's basically like, you need to take ownership of your failure, kind of like Jocko. So the one excuse is fear, scared of failure. But thousands of people have gone through the same thing and they came out. So that's a fallacy. 2, knowledge. I don't know enough. Tell that to Steve Jobs, says John Taffer. Growth is knowledge. 3, circumstance. The economy is bad. The earth is flat. Man, somebody's finding success. That's an excuse. 4, time. He goes, time. I love this one. I love the way he talked, dude. He's like, time. Let me tell you why. I love dudes who say shit like that. They'll be like, my brother does that. He'll be like, so I bought this chair. Let me tell you why. Like you weren't going to let him tell you why.
Or get ready for it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I love it. Whenever someone says that, I get so fired up. I'm like, yeah, tell me why. Time is an excuse. Ego is an excuse. Check your ego. 6, consequences. People are scared of consequences.
For sure.
So, this is a little clip from my boy John.
I'm yelling because nobody else is. I come here from the other side of the country to help him, and he's a lazy ass and does nothing to help himself. Of course I'm screaming at him.
Dude, it's such good TV.
It's so good.
Nothing about it, does he? I feel terrible for you.
Dude, I get so uncomfortable when he brings the wives into it, where he tells the wives to tell their husband what, like, lazy, like, invalids they've been.
Yeah.
He'll turn to the wife and he'll be like, do you agree with everything I've just said? And she'll be like, yeah. And the husband's just like, fuck. Yeah. And it's happening on TV, dude.
I bet they're like, yeah, we'll do Bar Rescue for sure. And then he comes in, do you know what's going on?
Well, that's the big mistake a lot of these guys make too, is they try to go toe to toe with them. Your business is failing. You're obviously fucking up. Like you're kind of in a position where you have to listen.
Yeah.
But it works. It works perfect for him.
You know, he used to be a drummer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's got that energy.
He's a great drummer, and like on tour with his band, he's like, I got a taste for the rock star life. Let me tell you, kind of empty. He's a beast.
My legend of the week is sort of similar. My legend of the week is Strider.
Oh, yes.
Because Strider came to Miami with me, and dude, he is just one of the most rock solid guys in the world. We're there for a couple days, and he, you know, Strider doesn't party as hard as a Chatterai. So after a couple days, I'm like worried about his health. I'm like, you can be able to party night? And he's like, hey, I've already adjusted. I'm a Miami guy. And then he licks his lips. I was like, fuck yes, Strider. And he was throwing heat, dude, every night, bringing it. out at the clubs and bars, having a good old time, but still being faithful to his Khaleesi, which is another virtue that I totally respect about him. And then it was really crystallized in moments with my cousin Danny. We were hanging out with my cousin Danny. He's 15 years old. And, he's a great kid. He's got his head on straight. But, he's young, and he's a little nervous about the world. So first we're on a boat, and there's all these other boats parked, and there's chicks on all the boats. And so I'm like, all right, I need to dive off this boat. Not because I think I'll look cool, but because I'm afraid I won't look cool. Yeah. So I got to do it. So I dive off the boat, and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I dove. And then Danny goes, I can't dive. And I'm like, well, you got to dive then. I'm like, dive. And then he's like, no, what if I look stupid? And me and Strider were like, dude, of course you're going to look stupid, but you just got to do it. And then Strider walked him over to the edge, taught him how to dive. He was like, you kick off this way. He had all the words right, all the sayings and expressions to teach someone. And then Danny jumped off the boat. One of the worst dives I've ever seen. But me and Strider, we go, hey, good job, way to dive. We're proud of you. Danny gets back on the boat. He says, I want to dive again. Ends up diving like 5 times. None of them turned out great, but he was trying, and I loved it. Yeah. So we go to the gym to work him out, and I'm like, I knew he wasn't working out legs. I'm like, have you been lifting? He's like, yeah, I've been lifting. I'm like, you doing legs? He's like, yeah, I'm doing legs. And he's got strong legs, but I could just tell he wasn't really doing it. And he was one of those guys doing tricep press downs every time he goes to the gym. I mean, that's not going to pay dividends for you. So me and Strider take him to the gym. Strider walked him through every exercise and taught him real proper technique on squats, lunges, core. And I was just sitting on the other side of the gym because I didn't know the lingo as well, just like marveling at Strider's ability to instruct this young man and walk him through it in a way that was like reasonable, but, still firm. And he treated him like his own little brother. And I think, Danny got a tremendous workout that day, and Strider was just a perfect teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's always a legend. We always talk about him, but Strider.
That's awesome.
You're my legend of the week. All right, Chad, who is your beef of the week?
My beef of the week. So I was looking at the In-N-Out secret menu because I already forgot the fucking name of just patties and cheese.
I heard your brother
Flying
say
Dutchman.
There it is.
Flying Dutchman. I was looking and I see there's one option, the veggie burger option. And I'm not opposed to a veggie burger. If you want to get a veggie burger, for sure, get a veggie burger. That's what's up. But I was so offended by the photo. It was just a bun and lettuce and cheese. So that's my beef.
Fuck that shit. Dude, my beef of the week is with turbulence.
Nice.
I'm afraid of flying. But we hit some turbulence on the way to Miami, and I was terrified. I was so scared. There was also mom with her newborn behind me crying hysterically, going, I was like, oh, fuck, dude. We're going down. The other guys were chill as fuck, but I was like panicking. I'm not down with it.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. Why are we not above turbulence yet? It doesn't feel safe.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
When you hear the pilot come on the phone during turbulence or on the intercom, aren't you always like, does he sound afraid? Does he sound like he's hiding something? He's like, hey, folks, this is your captain speaking. We just came into a little bit of turbulence. We're going to ride through it for the next 15 minutes. Might be a bumpy ride, but we'll be all right. So just, try to enjoy the ride. I'm like, he knows we're going to die.
Fuck you, turbulence.
Turbulence, you're my beef.
Dude, can I do a review of the week?
Guys, time for our review of the week.
This is an amazing review. My First Time with My First Love by It's Craig. Yo, my dream girl Tess, the light of my life, the one I've been eyeing on since the 6th grade. We went on a romantic endeavor last weekend, and ultimately, it led to me losing my virginity. It all started with a quick bite at Chipotle. Then I was like, let's just lay low at my place and have a glass of wine or two. Nice. I immediately put on episode 41 of your podcast on my Sonos home sound system. It was quite the 3D experience. Chad and JT at all angles. The minute the piece sizes combo came up in the podcast, I sensed some sexual tension between me and Tess. It eventually led to us talking about size. And that was about 3 glasses of red wine in. So I felt bold and decided to just drop that I'm rocking a solid 4-inch. She was immediately turned on just moments after I said that. She's definitely digging my confidence and honestly, She's definitely digging my confidence and honesty huge. One thing led to another, and the next thing I knew, my virginity was nowhere to be found. I felt like a man, a true dog, a moment I will forever remember. Thank you dudes for being a part of it. So stoked. Dude, I'll say it. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Nothing brings people together more than Joe's dong.
Thank you, Stoker, for writing in, and good luck with you and your lady. All right, guys, it's time for some questions. This one is from Molly. What's with cubicle warriors snorting Adderall, instant release, and suddenly become the biggest badasses in New York? As a girl, I view crushing up Addy and snorting the pink, blue, orange powder and incessantly telling people you just snorted Adderall as effeminate and a novice move. Like, dude, just stop jacking off to Wolf of Wall Street trying to invent Jordan Belfort. It's not yayo. Don't you guys think that's whack as fuck? Like, you wanted half a pill, just bite it in half. Why the fuck are you snorting it? If anything hits it like you 5 minutes quicker than swallowing it. And I've read there's no time difference in terms of effect. Like, ooh, how edgy you're snorting Adderall off your phone in the handicapped stall. Whoop-de-doo. End of the day, it's just making more of a mess for them. They have blue shit dripping out of their nose for the rest of the day. Damn.
Dude, totally on board with what she's saying.
I do think snorting stuff is kind of gross.
Especially Adderall. It never, I was like, you gotta snort it? I think she's right. I think taking it has like pretty much the same effect.
I think it hits you quicker when you snort it.
All right, I snorted one time and I was in class and my buddy TJ was looking at me. He's like, in class, he's like super loud, why's your nose blue? I was like, what?
Yeah, I agree with you, Molly. I think, Adderall is a seductive enhancer because I had a job where I had to be hard on people and I had to be really aggressive. And I always got positive reviews from my bosses and coworkers, but it was putting me on a collision course with some health issues that inevitably made me stop taking it.
I don't like the come down of it though.
It's horrendous.
Horrible. You feel so good and then you're like, now I feel like a fucking bag of flaming shit.
That next day, man, I felt like a husk.
Just think about how small it makes your dong.
Dude, it makes it so small.
Or I would try to hook up with chicks in college and I'd be like, I can't do it. And they'd be like, why not? And I'd be like, I'm on Adderall. I can't just unveil this tiny pecker to you right now.
And it makes you so horny, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Christian. Dear Chad and JT, I've been in quite a predicament with one of my bros over quite a lot of money. The only problem is the bro is my actual brother and it's $600. When I loaned it to him, he said he would have the money for me in a couple of days. It's been 4 months and he says he will give it to me as soon as possible every day. I don't know how to deal with this since we live less than 10 yards from each other and he always spends the money he could be paying me back on other useless things. I'm going to college and really need this money. Any advice helps. Please help me with this sitch, bros. From Anonymous.
That's tough.
Dude, I think this is one of those instances where you got to use shame. You know? Like, shame coming from a family member is a pretty powerful thing. So I would try and shame your brother. I would say, dude, you're being a Welch. You're being selfish. And the bottom line is, you're not being fair to your brother, which is making you a bad brother. And if that doesn't jar him out of it, then I don't know what will.
Mm-hmm. It's a good call. I don't have anything else to add.
Shame your brother. What up, dude? So recently my dog Jim got into some trouble with the law and it's really siphoned his stoke tank. We're huge fans of the pod and he's the one who introduced me to you guys. Sadly, we live in a state where the ganja is illegal. We used to smoke hella dank green and have super deep combos while stoned and watch rad space movies. He can't help it right now and it's smart to not indulge with possible drug tests in the future. But I feel really bad when I'm around him and you can tell it really kills his stoke and mind to not be there on the spiritual journey with me. How do I help keep his stoke tank topped off? I've helped him get into lifting to work on getting jacked, so I think this is helping, but he's still down in the dumps and we both really miss our dank smoke sessions. Please help bros stay stoked. Thanks.
So he can't smoke weed anymore?
Nah, his buddy can't because he might have drug tests coming up because he got into some trouble with the law.
And he feels bad because like
he's high without him and he knows his bro is just having serious FOMO.
Yeah. Maybe you go on like a sober date with your dog. Go to Taco Bell and be like, I'm gonna be not high with you, and we're still gonna get munchies, and we're still gonna watch Starship Troopers. Or Just be like, dude, when you can smoke again, it's going to be so sweet. Then you rip a fat bowl.
I love that. And then the thing I would say is once he gets through this legal trouble, you both move to a state where it's legal.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to move. Weed's a reason as good as any. Get on the road, my friend.
Yeah.
Come to California. It's nice. Girlfriend, drop her or not? What up, bro? So I've got this girlfriend and we've been dating pretty seriously for a little over a year and I like her a lot, but I'm going away to college at the beginning of next year and I don't know if I want to be tied down in a relationship at my first semester or if I should be wild and free. So my question is, should I break up with her and party hard at college and open up the options, or should I keep it serious and let it all work itself out? Thanks, bro. Stay stoked. Your head's in the right place. You know, you're thinking about like what your future is going to be about, and you're simultaneously trying to think about like, you know, her feelings and how to best, you know, protect her feelings. I would say you don't know what college is going to be like yet, you know? Wait till you get there. You don't need to make up your mind yet. You know what I mean? Because I know plenty of guys who went to college and stayed with their significant other. And I know even more guys, obviously, who went to college and decided that they wanted to take advantage of all the options there. So I would just try to put it on the back burner of your brain, you know, think about it, but don't let it be your number one priority at this point. And then once you get to college, you reassess and kind of figure out, because you're not going to know what's happening there until you get there. So get there first and just try and enjoy this time you have with her now. What up, Chad and JT? You are seriously role models of mine and I need your help. I'm currently a freshman at a prestigious college, but I've always hated school. The only reason I'm here is because my parents expect me to and I want to be swimming in guap. I am a fiery little dude of many passions, and when my heart is in something, I typically make it work. I would love to turn one of my passions into a lucrative career. What do I do? You guys inspire me to wake up every day with the goal of happiness. Love you guys. Ted. Thanks, man.
What, he wants to turn his passion into guap?
Yeah.
Do you say what his passion is?
No. He's at a prestigious college though, but he hates school. Oh. So I think the thing that he's really considering is whether he should jump ship and just go out on his own.
How far along is he, did he say?
He's a freshman.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I would jump ship if you have a solid plan, POA, plan of action. I wouldn't jump ship, you know, if, yeah.
I'm probably letting this literature get too much into my head, especially considering I'm only 25 pages into the book. But this guy, Tyler Cowen, who wrote this book, The Complacent Class, talks a lot about how, as Americans, we don't take enough chances anymore. And here's my thing. If this kid's already at a prestigious college, he's got a big brain. Yeah. Like, he's fully capable. You don't get into one of those colleges unless you know how to do work.
Yeah.
And people who drop out of prestigious colleges are almost more exciting to people than people who stayed at them. You know what I mean? Like Steve Jobs types who are like, I left, you know, wherever he went, like Harvard or whatever. Everyone's like, you were too smart for Harvard. That's how people read that.
Yeah.
So if you really are at like a really prestigious college and you drop out, I think that actually gives you more cachet and it shows an ambition that people will really admire. So if you have that, and like Chad said, if you can get a plan of action together, do it, man.
Yeah.
Bail. Follow your dreams. Follow your passion.
But I also wouldn't drop out just to be cool, because there could be like, for every Steve Jobs, like 1,000 other dudes that are just like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Why did I do that?
Well, for me, I knew I had to finish college because no one was going to be like impressed that I dropped out of 9 junior colleges. You know, didn't have the same cachet. But that's true too. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of glibly saying drop out. I mean, you should really think through it. But I mean, are you getting student loans and stuff too? Because if he's not into it, don't pile up $200,000 worth of debt. Yeah, and then be on the dole for that forever.
For sure,
it's a lot to think about, man. But maybe send us another email and give us some more context. But I like where your head's at, man. I like that you know you're passionate and you know you might be better suited somewhere else. So I want you to not make that small. I want you to put more fuel on that and really see where it goes. What's up, Stoke Masters? My direct roommate and I play college football, and we live with 4 other dudes, 2 full-time students and 2 lax bros. We have gotten along pretty well so far, but there was a sitch that happened the other night that has caused a drastic decrease of Stoke in the apartment of building 6, room 9. While the football team was finishing up practice, the lacrosse team decided to run onto the field because we had exceeded our time limit on the field by 2 minutes. Both coaches went at it during practice, which led towards hatred between the lax team and football team. Not only has this been a sitch on campus, this has caused high testosterone and low stoke in the apartment. My roommate and I occasionally rage with the lax guys on the weekend, but now we feel obligated to beef with them. Any advice on this sish? Big Bot and Mikey Mac.
Grab a 30 rack and take it over to the other team's house. Be like, let's squash this.
I love that.
Bring a Helix beer bong, some Douglas lubricant if you guys want to get crazy, and squash the beef. Maybe they should have like a wrestling match and like a plastic pool full of Douglas lubricant.
I need advice. 2 years ago, my bro hooked up with the love of my life while we were dating. Totally not cool. And now they've been dating ever since.
2 years ago?
Tensions have since lowered and we are cool. But now she has been talking to me all the time and my former bro does not like this. As for me, I realized I miss her and she is torn between me and him. I can't decide between trying to get the love of my life back even after she wronged me or if I go down the path of consistent meaningless boning. Any advice would be greatly appreciated.
I'd say stay away because she already did you wrong. It's pretty dramatic.
All right, guys, time for our quote of the week. All right, guys, my quote of the week is from a book called Sapiens. And I'm only 10 pages in, but I already got a quote. So in the book, he explains that the universe is 13.5 billion years old. The earliest ancestors of humans are 2 million years old. And then humans as we are constructed basically are 200,000 years old. And then we all live like 80 years. 80 years out of 13.5 billion. But he's describing the earliest humans. He says this about them. These archaic humans loved, played, formed close friendships, and competed for status and power. That's how he kind of summarizes what it is we do. You know, I don't think he intended for that to wallop me the way that it did. But that does feel like what my whole life is, you know? We love, we play, we form close friendships, and we compete for status and power.
My quote is from Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation. I'm a simple man. I like pretty, dark-haired women and breakfast food. Know who you are, Stokers.
Hell yeah.
We're also brought to you by Douglas Lubricant, best in the game. Oh, the smoothest boning out there. They really just go in. They have all types of flavors. Vanilla, original, orange, anal. And they are really just, they get after it, guys. And we just want you guys to know that Douglas Lubricant is the place to go when you want to bone, and you want to bone well.
I have two sponsors this week, but they align with each other nicely. I have Ridge Wallet. It's a minimalist front pocket wallet that helps you reevaluate your everyday carry. Launched by a father-son team and funded on Kickstarter in 2013, the Ridge now resides in the pockets of over 250,000 men and women. The RFID blocking wallet is made by two metal plates, either titanium, carbon fiber, or aluminum, bound together by a durable elastic band. It looks sleek. It works great. It's a wonderful wallet, and it reminds me so much of my dear friend Daniel Babona, baseball coach at UCI. He's a slick, minimalist dude who always delivers, just like the Ridge Wallet. And like the father-son team behind the Ridge Wallet, he's about to have a boy and be a father-son team. Chad actually has his Ridge Wallet out right now. It's comfortably holding all of his cards. The cash is firmly secured behind a clip, and I gotta say, it looks really nice with my dog.
Dude, can I just add something in there? I've been using this Ridge wallet for about 3 weeks now. It is a lifesaver, guys. My other wallet used to be this big leather bulky bullshit thing. And, it'd be like huge in my pocket. I put it in my back pocket. I'd sit on it. Super uncomfortable. Now I have this minimalistic, just like cool, sleek Ridge wallet. Just my cards. Threw out the stuff I didn't need. I have cash in there. It looks cool. Cash in a clip is always a cool look. And I love it, dude. So highly, highly recommend.
We like wearing tight jeans, and that doesn't work with a bulky wallet. So buy Ridge.
Buy Ridge. Use promo code DEEP to get your Ridge wallet. Promo code DEEP. RidgeWallet.com/deep. All right, guys, that'll be it for episode 44 of Going Deep with Chad and JT. Thank you guys so much for being stokers, for joining us, for just being the best stokers you can be, and just being legends all around. Stay stoked, everyone. And check out our Patreon, patreon.com/chatgoesdeep. JT, you want to say anything?
Spread the stoke. Boom, clap, stokers.
Wow. Later.
If you need advice,